Something about Elsa's story always felt incomplete to me, and I didn't really understand why until I met Rumi. This is Marginalia, where we look for the stories tucked between the lines. Today, let's talk about why Rumi told the Conceal, Don't Feel story better than Elsa. Spoilers ahead for Frozen and K-pop demon hunters. Conceal, don't feel. It's a phrase many of us have resonated with since Frozen's release. We hide part of ourselves due to our insecurities, whether because we learned it passively or were directly told to by the people around us. We do it to protect ourselves, to feel like we belong. However, in a lot of instances, it leaves us hurting and feeling alienated, the very things we wanted to avoid. Elsa and Rumi both live this conflict. Elsa hides her ice powers after she accidentally hurts Anna, believing suppression is the only way to protect others and herself. Rumi, meanwhile, hides something even deeper, her very identity. Despite dedicating her life to fighting demons, she is part demon herself, and with that comes shame, a secret she buries in hopes she can one day erase it. We see Elsa and Rumi beside themselves. Both of them ache for connection, both want to be accepted, yet both believe they can only achieve it by concealing what makes them most vulnerable. At the end of their stories, Elsa and Rumi accept who they are and let people into their lives by doing so. Elsa with Anna in the Kingdom of Arendelle, Rumi with her fellow demon hunters, Mira and Zoe. Elsa and Rumi's arcs look so similar on the surface, but there's a reason why Rumi's hits harder. It's because we actually get to explore it. When Frozen came out and we see Elsa on the snow, forming crystals, realizing the ice powers she has within, it's breathtaking. We witness her discovering the joy there is in engaging with a part of yourself you previously hid away. After years of painfully suppressing it, Elsa, as she puts it, lets it go. It's magical. It's victory. It's someone realizing that they were wrong to hide everything away. But Elsa's story pretty much ends there. It stops before a key element in her story is complete. But I'll get to that later. One frustration I had with Frozen was the focus wasn't truly on Elsa. It was about Anna, and while that in itself isn't a problem, Elsa becomes less of a character and more of a MacGuffin to serve Anna's purposes. True, she reacts to elements in the story, Anna's engagement to Hans, storming of her ice palace, learning about Anna's death, but it never lets her progress as a character, nor does she ever have true agency. She never evolves. Instead, all of this is in service to move the story along and let Anna do what she needs to do. Frozen therefore doesn't explore the question, can Elsa really accept who she is? Instead, it's focused on asking, can Anna make Elsa open up to her? That isn't to say it isn't a valid theme. Sisterhood, unconditional love, all of that is pretty important. But the movie never lets Elsa tie up her own loose ends because she and Anna are already together. So what is this big thing missing in Elsa's story? Why does it feel so unsatisfying, so lacking, even after something as powerful as a let it go sequence at the start? Elsa may have accepted herself, but her journey feels unfinished, like a book that closes just before the last chapter. But where Frozen pulls away, K-pop Demon Hunters leans in, and that difference changes everything. A big part of why I personally love K-pop Demon Hunters was its dedication to Rumi's story. Like Elsa, she grapples with a part of herself, later realizing it's something she shouldn't be ashamed of. But it doesn't stop there. So, what exactly did her story do differently? There are a few things. 1. Focus. We're given a lot of time for Rumi's themes to be explored. She arguably gets even more time for her arc than her co-stars, Mira and Zoe. The movie actually lets us sit with Rumi's struggle. At the start, she's desperate to hide her demon patterns, especially after they disrupt her singing. In the middle, she begins to question whether her half-demon identity makes her unworthy or not. And by the end, she steps onto the stage, her patterns no longer hidden but gleaming in the spotlight, a declaration to the world and to herself that she wasn't ashamed anymore. But focus alone isn't enough. We also get to see how this all happens in the second element. 2. Progress. Rumi doesn't just stand in her conflict. She moves through it. And the movie shows this by tying her self-image to her relationships and how she responds to them. At first, Rumi hides. She's terrified Mira and Zoe will learn that she is part demon. The world, by this point, has already made its stance clear. Demons are evil and deserve no mercy. It's also why she's hostile to Jinwoo at the start. But as she spends more time with him, she begins to see shades of good in him, and by extension, in herself. That shift drives her to question everything. Do all demons really need to be eradicated? Does she need to erase the demon part of herself? It's even why she pushes back against Zoe and Mira on the song Takedown, because she knows the solution isn't as simple as destroy the darkness. By the end, Rumi's growth is undeniable. She doesn't just reveal her demon patterns by accident like at the Idol Awards. She chooses to. On that final stage, she shows Mira and Zoe, and Jinwoo, her whole self, and she sings from a place of conviction, not fear. That's why Rumi's arc feels so earned. We watch her perspective shift step by step, until she finally accepts herself, and lets others accept her too. It also sets up the third difference, because for Rumi, progress isn't simply about reacting to what's happening around her. It's about making choices. 3. It's internal. Any progress in Rumi's convictions about herself comes from within. Yes, the world around her influences her, but she's the one who chooses how to respond. Rumi chooses to give Jinwoo a chance. Rumi chooses to speak up about Takedown, questioning whether the message truly reflects what Huntrix is. And when she's at her lowest, Rumi is the one who confronts Celine. Most importantly, Rumi decides for herself what kind of Hanwoo she wants, one that accepts people like her and Jinwoo, not one that erases them. This is where she stands apart from Elsa. Elsa's epiphany, the whole love is key to her powers, almost feels accidental, like she stumbles into it. We never feel that resolve come from within her. Rumi, on the other hand, earns her resolve step by step. So much so that when she begins what it sounds like in the final act, it lands. The anthem isn't just a performance, it's her personal conviction in song. And that's the real difference. Rumi evolved. Rumi's growth came from within, built choice by choice, step by step, until it was impossible not to believe her change. But even with all of that, the focus, the progress, the internal realization, there's still one more reason her story feels complete where Elsa's doesn't. One key ingredient that finalizes that journey. Concealing is all about hiding, isolating yourself, suppressing your emotions. Many of us assume the cure is simply self-acceptance, but it isn't. The real cure is connection. Take Elsa. She embraces being content with her powers, true, but she's still doing what she always did. She's hiding. She just traded her bedroom for a big ice palace. To the very end of the movie, Elsa's trying to suppress herself. There's never a moment when she tries to connect with Anna until it's practically too late. When she does, it's reactive, and on Anna's terms. That's why Elsa's arc, even with a scene as powerful as Let It Go, feels so incomplete. Rumi, by contrast, doesn't stop at self-affirmation. She gives people the opportunity to see her. She realizes the problem isn't hiding poorly, it's hiding it all. Rumi knows she doesn't need to change, and crucially, she acts on that. We see early glimpses of this with Jinu. By gradually getting closer to Jinu, she was getting closer to another part of herself, and coming closer to accepting it. And when she finally does accept herself, she knows that other people should know it too. It's why she confronts Celine. It's why she decides to open her heart to Zoe and Mira one last time. Now, whether people accept her or not doesn't really matter. Rumi knows there's a risk in showing this side of herself. She sees it firsthand in Mira and Zoe's initial reactions at the Idol Awards. But that's not enough to stop her. Because what she learns is a lesson that takes so many of us, especially those of us who feel painfully different, a long time to learn. It's that she deserves to be loved. Fully. Every single part of herself. So, Rumi makes the choice to trust the people she cares about. She hopes that they'll accept her. And Zoe and Mira do. Every time I rewatch this moment, the three of them embracing, open and vulnerable, finally seen, it brings me to tears. So, what do we take away from all this? For me, Rumi's story felt like the version of Elsa's I always wanted. And maybe even the story I wanted for myself. Because the truth is, it's hard. And sometimes even impossible to have people accept you for who you are. But the best kind of healing, the kind that really lasts, is when you're not just accepted by yourself, but embraced by others too. K-pop Demon Hunters reminded me that there are people out there who will see you, who will love you for every part of who you are. Now, I don't say all of this to shoot Elsa down. She's still one of Disney's most captivating characters, and I've always felt deeply connected to her. Frozen's first movie may not have given her the arc space it deserved, but the bones of something incredible were there. And later works, Frozen 2, even the stage musical, start to explore that missing piece. Maybe I'll talk about it someday. Regardless, Elsa will always hold a special place in my heart. As for Rumi's story, that's definitely one I won't forget anytime soon. K-pop Demon Hunters took this simple setup and gave us characters who felt so personable. Their hopes, fears, friendships, all of it shining through every single corner. And having Rumi, someone so serious, vulnerable, and reserved at the heart of it all, that felt refreshing, especially in a genre where adorable leads can just blur together. I don't think Elsa and Rumi will be the last time we see this kind of story. This conceal, don't feel personal struggle. At least, I hope not. Because people will always need stories like this to remind them. Remind them every part of you is worth keeping. Every part is worthy of love, and none of it deserves to be concealed. Hey, it's Haru. Thanks so much for watching and sticking with me to the very end of my first video. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Did you agree? Disagree? Or maybe see Elsa or Rumi in a totally different way? If you also have other characters or stories you'd like me to cover, I would love to know. I've got a whole stack of ideas scribbled in the margins, and we could totally add yours to the pile. If you enjoyed this, you can like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Until then, keep reading between the lines.